You could fry an egg on that car. She really picked the wrong month to go on a rebellious anti-authoritarian rampage across South Dakota. Ah no, wait, no, it's a rainy day in Norfolk, England. My mistake. I'm Simon Jones from HitFilm.com, and this tutorial is all about heat distortion, one of the new effects in HitFilm 3 Pro. Here's another example of heat distortion in action. Check out the distortion around the fire on this crashed chopper. This is a slightly more extreme application of the effect. So let's go back and take a closer look at our hot tarmac shot. On top of everything, we've got some film grain to give it a slightly more retro feel. You almost certainly won't be able to see that thanks to the video compression on this tutorial, but trust me, it's there. I then have some anamorphic lens flare action coming down from on high. That adds to the impression of the sun being super intense somewhere overhead, despite the overwhelmingly cloudy sky. Then there's the layer with the heat distortion itself. While it's set up to be relatively subtle in this shot, you can see just how big a difference it's making when I turn it off. I've then got this light flare casting some rays down from the top of the frame, again to give the viewer the impression of the sun being burning hot just out of shot. On the video layer itself, I've got three effects going on. Color Vibrance is creating that super hot intense orange look. I tend to use Color Vibrance to give intense color to grayscale generated elements such as planets or stars and particle sparks, but it can actually be pretty effective on live action too. I've used Leave Color to isolate and remove most of the green from the grass. I wanted the whole shot to look burnt and scorched, so this was a quick way to get rid of that healthy looking grass. This was a simple matter of selecting the colour, inverting it and then blending it back onto the original. Finally, there's a Kodachrome LUT applied to give the shot its overall look. If you want to download that LUT, then check out the link in the description. In this tutorial, I'm only going to focus on the heat distortion itself. So let's take a look. First, I'll select my heat distortion layer and just delete it, so I can start from scratch. For the distortion, I created a new grade layer from the new layer menu. Grade layers are special because they affect all layers below them. It's a handy way to quickly adjust multiple layers at the same time. The default settings for heat distortion are pretty intense. If I drag on the effect from the effects panel, you can see that the entire frame is being affected. That's because the grade layer is covering the whole frame. The easy way to customize the affected area is using masks. First I'll select the layer, then the rectangle tool in the viewer, and we'll draw a quick shape over the lower third of the shot. This restricts the heat distortion to that area in particular. In the mask's shape properties, I'll ramp the feather strength all the way up to give it a nice soft edge. However, there's still too much distortion on our actors and the vehicle itself. To counter this, I'll add a second mask. This one I'll draw over the vehicle, and I'll then switch the mask's blend mode to subtract, which will remove that area from the previous selection. I'll also ramp the feather strength way up again. The heat distortion is now limited to the area I want, but it's pretty extreme still. This kind of distortion would be great for a jet engine, but for natural heat haze it's a bit much. Heat distortion can be fully customized. There are two key parts to the effect: the displacement on the background and then an additional localized moving diffusion or blur. You can adjust the strength of these two elements separately. I'm going to drop distortion and diffusion strength both down to 25. This makes for a less extreme effect overall. The distortion is still moving pretty fast though. We want a slower, subtler, more undulating animation. So in the animation controls, I'm going to drop the wind speed to 25 and the noise speed down to 0.5. You can further customize the generation of the noise pattern, which is what's used to create the animation. This kind of heat distortion was possible before, but you would have needed to create your own noise pattern, perhaps using particle effects or fractal noise effects. Then you'd have had to have put that into its own composite shot, then apply displacement and blurring separately to your layer. The big benefit of the heat distortion effect is that you get the same result more or less instantly, while still having a fine degree of control. Okay, many thanks for watching this quick tutorial. Head over to hitfilm.com or our YouTube channel for even more.